Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. Now today I'm going to continue with part 2 of my 6-year-old Dutch ration. Today I'm going to take a look at their lunch and dinner components. So let's get them out on a tray and see what they look and taste like. And welcome back to part 2 of this Dutch 24-hour field ration. Now if you missed part 1 where I opened the ration and took a look at the contents and a few surprises for the breakfast, please go back and have a look at that video. For this video I'm going to continue with the lunch and dinner components of this 24-hour ration, and to save a little bit of time I have the dinner components already here on the tray. And for the dinner out of, or the lunch should I say, for the lunch out of all of those previous shown items, I'm going to have the white beans with bacon and potato. Take a look at the tomato soup. I've also got some sugared peanuts. There is an lemon iced tea, a coffee. I have salt and pepper on standby. I have the Ardennes pate, which is the liver pate, with some Korean spices or sauce, dextrose tablets, and I've got the biscuits brown, which we saw in the breakfast, just so I've got a base for the pate. So with all that in mind, I'm going to start with things that need a little bit of preparation. So first off, I'm going to take a look at this tomato soup. Now this ration expired 4 years ago in 2020, so everything in here is at least 6 to 7 years old. I had one or two unpleasant surprises, should I say, with the breakfast components in part 1. So I don't know now how these have compared or fared. So again, that tomato soup looks a little bit clumpy and lumpy. Not what I would expect to see. It's obviously been subject, or it's had a little bit of damp, so it's a nice clumpy lump. So bringing the USMRE spoon and the hot water, I'm going to give that a bit of a mix. I'm going to give it half a cup initially and then see what happens. So I can always add water, I can't take away, so I'll just get half a cup, go in there, good old mix. I'll leave that to do its thing. I think next I'm going to have a look at the coffee. Now there was 3 coffees in the packet. This is the only one that feels like it survived. The other 2 felt hard and clumpy, as if again moisture. So I'm just going to use the one that felt good. So that does look okay. There's no mould or issues looking at that one. And I'm going to go with a coffee creamer, which again looks fine, and also half a pack of the sugar. Again, the sugar seems to have survived quite well, so I'll just give it just a little bit over half a pack of that, putting the rest to one side. And I shall use the handle of the soup spoon just to stir the coffee. And again, I shall give this about half to 3/4 of a mug as usual, to allow it its best chance of taste and flavour. Just wipe that spoon a little. And last but not least, we have an iced tea or lemonade powder. That one does say orange flavour, so it looks like it's an orange. Again, it feels a little bit compromised. Calls for 200 millilitres. Again, a little bit lumpy, a little bit clumpy. These haven't been stored particularly well. I found this at the back of all my stocks. I went through all my old stock, and I found quite a few rations which when I first started collecting I'd put at the back, and I've not been doing my stock rotation very well, so now I have a few 24-hour rations particularly that are well past their best before date, this being one of them. Get a nice mix. Now have a quick look at some of these sugared peanuts. So they are ingredients is basically peanuts and sugar. Hopefully these are okay. Nice mylar foil seal bag, took some opening. Let's empty a few of those. Interesting looking items. That's just about a quarter of the bag. About a quarter of the bag there. I don't need them all. I'm going to get the biscuits brown ready. Seen in the British Army rations. Already know these are compromised, they're a little bit soft, they've gone past their best, but they are here for as a base. We check these out in the breakfast. Now, the one I'm worried about, a 20, I don't know if that's going to focus, it might be a bit close, expired 2020, and this is a liver pate, pork liver pate. It's not in a tin. I'd be more confident if it was in a tin. It's in one of these little peelable pouches. Straight off it looks okay, doesn't smell untoward, it smells like a normal sort of pate, so fingers crossed that might have survived. We also have some dextrose tablets with vitamin C, a whole packet of energy tablets, so I should just get one of those. I don't need the whole packet. As you can see, it's a very large packet. We only need one to try. Now I don't know if this is going to be needed with the white beans with potato and bacon, but it is a Korean spice mix, so I'll open it anyway. Just open that a little bit just so we can get some of the spices out if needed. And as I said, I've got salt and pepper on standby. Now it's time for the mains. This is the white beans with bacon and potato. Been boiling for a good 10 to 15 minutes. I should just pour that into the bowl. Looks very much like a baked beans type idea. So I'm going to start where I normally like to start, that is with the drinks. So I'm going to start off with the coffee. That's a very mild roast coffee. Not very strong, not the best. It's quite a weak coffee. It's coffee flavoured, it's instant, it's not a good quality instant, it's one of the poorer quality ones out there, but it's recognisable for what it is. It is a coffee flavoured drink, and it's not showing sign of age, so the age has not affected it, being in the packet 7 years or more. It's drinkable, it's coffee, just not the best. It's a store brand, cheap style coffee. Now I'm just going to give that another mix. This is the tomato soup. It didn't look great when we first mixed it, so it's had a few minutes to do its thing. There's a couple of floaters in there, a bit of croutons or something like along those lines. Very watery. It's supposed to be a tomato soup. There is a weak tomato soup background. It's not very thick, it stayed thin. The croutons taste a little bit stale. There's a stale taste to them. It's warm. On a cold day, it'll be comforting. It is drinkable. It's not gone past its age. It's not age suffered. The croutons taste a little bit aged, but again, it's a sort of instant style cup soup. You wouldn't say, again, it's the best quality. It's not a top brand. It would be one of the cheaper sort of knockoff style, copy styles of the top of brands. But it's okay. It's not very thick. It's thin, but again, it's okay. It survived the time. It is a warm drink on a cold day. And now we'll look at this iced tea. Orange flavoured, not lemon, as it says. Delicate flavour of orange. It's not overly sweet, not overly powerful. It's a nice, refreshing, still very drinkable mouth cleanser. Again, like all the other drinks, still drinkable, still acceptable, but just not the best quality. You wouldn't have a problem drinking any of those, but you'd recognise they're not top grade ingredients, but still useful drinks. So moving along, we'll take a look at the mains. So this is white beans with bacon and potato. So you can see chunks of potato, you can see chunks of what I assume is the bacon, and obviously the beans in a tomato based sauce. So let's have a taste of the sauce first, see what sort of flavour it is. It's a very thin baked bean style sauce. The bacon flavours come through, smoked bacon. The potatoes are soft, and still have a little bit of texture. It's very sweet. It's a sweetened barbecue-y sort of flavour. So let's have a try with some bacon. It's starting to show its age. The quality isn't there that what probably once was, but I don't think it's bad. Still edible. Very sweet. It's a very sweet sauce, but it is sweet, almost like a sweet and sour, with a smoked pork flavour. The bacon still has texture. Still very edible. Still good after all this time. I'm going to try a little bit of this Korean spice in there, just to see the results. So there is a little sprinkling of the Korean spices. Have a taste of those. To be honest, doesn't do a lot, that small amount. There wasn't a lot of extra anything there, so I'm going to give it a bit more. Give it a bit more. A good bit. There's a good amount. Mix that in. I was expecting a real heat kick from a Korean spice. Doesn't seem to be there. Quite disappointing. It's not what I would consider a Korean spice. When I think of Korean spices, I think of quite hot and powerful and flavourful. It's more like a smoked paprika. You got more of a smoky flavour, and paprika sort of spice, but not that hot chili. So it's added a little bit extra flavour, but to be honest, it's hardly added anything to that at all. So it's a very, very mild spice. Not what I think of when I think of Korean. Let's refresh my palate there. So I'm going to get a fresh spoon, because in my last video the pates didn't fare well. So I'm going to bring in a clean spoon, just to have a look at this texture. So it's liver pate. Have a small amount there. It's got a mild liver flavour. There is something in the background coming through. It's taking its time to come through. I'm not going to swallow that bit. Excuse me. Wow. Oh. Wow. Now, that's coming through now. Initially, when you put that in your mouth, there wasn't any sort of untoward taste. As it stayed in your mouth, the taste grew and grew. It's very acidic. There is, I don't know if you can see, there's a black line I've just noticed around the seal, around the edge. That black, I think, is a little bit of mould. There is something going on in there. I'm not going to eat any more of that. The flavour is still developing more and more as I talk. I'm just going to scrape the rest off my spoon. That could be botulism just waiting to bite, especially with a black edge. Liver pate, 4 years past its best before date. Probably looking at 7 or 8 years since it was made. No, 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 no. And I'm going to clean the spoon. Oh, I need to cleanse my mouth also. Which one should I go for? Trust your instincts, trust your taste buds. The smell smelled fine, but the first little bit I ate tasted fine, but there is a black edge around that. I don't know if you can see if I hold it up, and around the cup. That's not the glue, that is some sort of mould developing, so no more of that. I think before I try the dextrose tablets, I'll have a look at some of the sugar coated peanuts. Again, these are looking past their best. They're not the most attractive looking peanuts I've seen. The nuts have gone brown in the centre. They're not white. They're sweet. They're peanuts. Dry roasted peanuts with a sugar. They could be brown sugar coated, but when you bite into them, let's try this large one. They seem a little dark. I think the camera's over lightening it from where I'm standing. No, a bit dark. When they was fresh, they would have been a nice throw in your mouth, walk along peanut with a sugar coating. But right now, they're showing age. Probably be okay, but like I say, just trust your senses, don't risk. The coffee's definitely okay. Now, last but not least for this meal, I'm going to take a look at one of the dextrose tablets, a whole packet. They're crumbly. No distinctive flavour. They're just a crumbly white powder. Obviously, it's on to give you an energy rush if you're feeling a little bit low. A few of those in your mouth, dextrose is going to give you a boost. Again, they seem to have survived the test of time. They're just basically a sugar style candy, which crumbles in your mouth and is an instant sugar release. So, overall, the only thing that's really suffered, I think, there is the pate. The peanuts are probably okay to eat. Everything else you could eat with no problem, but they're starting to show their age. So please join me in a minute for the next meal when I take a look at the evening meal, which is the chicken stew. So See you in a minute. And welcome back to this final meal, or the evening dinner, for this Dutch 24-hour ration. And for the final meal we have got the hot chicken dish, which is a chicken style stew. I've got the biscuits brown back again to have a look at the other pate, which is Mediterranean pate. We have some jam, some Mentos gum, salt and pepper on standby. We have a drinking chocolate, the biscuits fruit to go with the jam, and the bouillon drink, or bouillon sachet. So there are a couple of things that need a little bit of preparation. That is the drinking chocolate. I'm going to start first with the drinking chocolate. So cocoa beverage powder. Chocolate asks for 200 milliliters of water. Again, this feels fine, it doesn't feel like it's compromised, so hopefully this is good. So a standard sort of drinking chocolate appearance, and we'll just bring in the USMRE spoon, which was hiding, and mix that with some nice hot water. I don't expect this to have suffered really from age, unless there's been an issue with any milk powders within it. It asks for 200 milliliters, so that's about 2/3 of a mug. I'll just wipe the spoon quickly. Then I think we'll look at the bouillon. Get the bouillon mixed. Again, just requiring a little bit of hot water. So, sort of hot bouillon beefy type drink. It just looks like a standard sort of gravy bouillon style mix. And again, I'll give that about half a mug of hot water. Give that its best chance of strength and flavour. I'm also going to pour myself a little glass of water, just as a palate cleanser. Troops always carry water, so that will always be available. So a little bit of water there as a palate cleanser. Moving on round, it's time to open the biscuits fruit. Again, these used to be in the British Army rations. They're not there anymore, which is a shame. The biscuits brown pop up every now and again in the British Army, but the biscuits fruit have gone. So some biscuits fruit, quite badly broken. Again, battle damaged. They do look different to the ones in the British Army, but that's just a few segments from the packet. We have some Mentos chewing gum, Breeze Mint, in a packet which looks very much like pills, so you get from the chemist or pharmacy. So if you'll just pop one of those out, I like that. It's a good way of keeping everything fresh, and just drop those one with the salt and pepper. We have some jam. So again, just peel that. That wasn't very well sealed. That's a little bit worrying. Jam usually does okay. Sugars don't usually go bad, but just how loose that cap was, a little bit worrying. And again, we're back to the Mediterranean pate, Mediterranean vegetable pate. Oh wow! Now that has shrunk quite badly. It's no longer in contact with the tray. It's greasy, oily. Let's just put that to one side, wipe my hands. And now it's time to take a look at the hot chicken, or chicken stew. It was just called a hot chicken dish when translated. Looks very similar to the previous meal, the white beans. Oh no, now it's that. No, it looks more like a stew now, a chicken stew. I see green beans and potatoes, more like a chicken stew. I'll take that last statement back. So let's start where I normally like to start. That's with the drinks. I'm going to start off with a look at this drinking chocolate. That's a good chocolate. I think you could even add more water. It says 200 millilitres, but that's very strong and needs a little bit more. Nearer the 300 millilitres I'd suggest. Let's try again. So we'll try again. It's a good chocolate. Lots of dark cocoa, sweet, it's milky, creamy. That's a good drinking chocolate. No hint of the age. Enjoyable, creamy, rich chocolate flavour. Nice, enjoyable hot drink. Take a little look at the bouillon. It's just that. It's just like a stock cube dissolved in water. It's tasty. It's salty. Just as you expect, a stock cube, a bouillon cube dissolved in water, and it's a nice, hot, comforting drink. Enjoyable, tasty, still good, no sign of age again. Let's refresh my palate with a little water before moving on to the main meal. So this is a chicken stew. So I see lumps of potato, see green beans, string beans. There are little chunks of chicken, nice gravy. So let's try potato in the gravy first. Still has texture. It is soft, but has texture. It's salted, it's peppered. Tastes very much like a canned soup, vegetable soup. There's a little sourness in the background. The chicken has got texture. Let's have a look at the green beans, and the green beans are soft. Tastes very much like a canned, tinned, chunky vegetable soup with extra large pieces of potato and bits of chicken. We do have such items in the UK in a can. Big Soup is a brand name in the UK. Anyone in the UK, it tastes just like chicken Big Soup, which means it's nice, it's familiar, flavoursome, tasty, little bit sour, little bit tart, but I think that's how it's meant to be. I don't think that's a sign of age. It's still an enjoyable, tasty meal. Let's refresh my palate. Moving on round, let's have a look at this pate again. Up to now, the pates have suffered the most. Let's have a look at that. It's shrunk away. That's a strange smell. There's a little bit of a rancidy smell. Again, I'm not going to try too much of this. This is vegetable puree pate. Oh my, no. Again. Oh, excuse me, right, that's out my mouth. Again, whoa, that's not good. That's acidic. It's rancid. The smell has a slight rancidity to it, but nowhere near the taste. The moment it hits your tongue, it's hot, it's spicy, it burns with the acidity, the rancidity of it. No. I don't know if botulism is a thing with vegetables. It certainly is with meat, but again, that, if it is, it's food poisoning for sure. Botulism maybe, but no. And I can still taste that in my mouth again now. Excuse me, I just need to find something to take that taste away. The bouillon is just the job for taking away that nasty taste. No, no, no. Pate, 4 years past its best before date. Leave it alone. Don't touch. You're asking for a whole world of hurt. That's not good. Now, I'm going to change my spoon. Bring in another, because it's got that pate on it. Bring in another USMRE spoon and take a little look at this jam. Now, this wasn't as good a lid as I was hoping for, but it does look like it's still set. No. That's a shame. The texture of that is wrong. That isn't jam. Again, there's another acidity. There must have been air getting into there. None of these, this hasn't been stored in a fridge or anything like that. Well, I've never tasted jam. That cannot be pure fruit and sugar. I'm sure if that was a pure jam of just fruit and sugar, that wouldn't have gone like that. There must be other chemicals in there, but that's gone. Again, I'm sorry. I've had a pause. I've got a really unpleasant taste in my mouth. I'm trying to remove. The jam has gone as well. Not good. It's time to have a look at some of these fruit biscuits. Still crunchy, crispy, cinnamon flavour, slightly darker baked, what I remember from the old British Army biscuits fruit, but the taste is the same. The cinnamon, they're still good. Good taste, good flavour, good crunch. Nice, enjoyable, cinnamon flavoured, crispy biscuit. Go really well with the drinking chocolate. Exceptionally well with the drinking chocolate. I'm sure that would go well as a good dunking biscuit in there. Wow. Exceptionally good. Dunked in the drinking chocolate. I always used to like those. I always thought it was a shame when they took them out with the British rations. Now, last but not least, let's have a look at one of these Mentos Free Breeze Mint. That's soft. That sugar shell collapsed. They're wet. I would never have thought. I would never have thought that through the packaging they'd have got damp. The crispy shell is no more. The flavour is there, very soft, instantly soft. It's like a menthol, sugar, nice and mouth cleansing, but again, no crispy shell, age is even showing on the gum. So, overall, that is all the contents, apart from repeat spares. We have another full packets of biscuit fruit, some drinking chocolates. I don't know if that's showing through there. There's a light. They're just repeats of the drinks and the biscuits. Apart from that, everything tried. Overall, would have been a great tasting ration. Past its best before date. It doesn't do well 4 years past. In its prime, I'm sure this would have been an excellent ration. I have actually purchased a new version of this, an up-to-date one. So in a few weeks' time, I should be having a look at that and seeing the differences. So I do have another, but one that's in date. So for now, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification button for future videos coming very soon. So thank you and goodbye.